Abusia, I the treaty so asema sisi deja. UK lawmakers omo hyehyɛ mmara ɛwɔ UK man mu ɛde ma aban no anase kromofo no omatena se wɔ mo parliament na UK mpanyimfo a wɔyɛ lawmakers ɛde aba betu dwa sɛ Donald Trump ɛyɛ international gangster. Wow. Obi ka sɛ obi yɛ international gangster na kyerɛ sɛ wo saa nipa no de atwebɔne ɛwɔ tiri mu ɔpɛ sɛ ɔsɛ wiase. Ne nyinaa ne sɛ UK empanyimfo ɛkyerɛ sɛ asɛm na ɔmokɔka no Pakistan na antiase anya adwuma no ɔmahwɛ hu sɛ Donald Trump ɛpɛ sɛ ɔhye Iran fo nyina ase na oyi ɔmu firi international map mu a ɔhwehwɛ Iran kura wo mu a unhu sɛ Iran ɛyɛ kura exist ɛno ɛna ɔmo anya no hint sɛ Donald Trump ɔpɛ sɛ ɔde Iran fo fa so ɔmo so nhwɛ ntena ase ɛma wo international gangster ɔma mesɛ ɔman no afei so Donald Trump ayɛ na adwin sɛ ewiase nyinaa ɔno na control wiase nti no sɛ saade a ɔba bɛma economy no obia ho akyere no ɛwɔ wiase ɛni nti na mo frɛ no international gangster no adwin bɔne ɛwɔ ne tiri mu plan a ɛwɔ ne tiri mu ni sɛ ɔbɛtoto nneɛma mu rough sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ wiase obia ho bɛkyere no because ɔka kyerɛ wiase fo sɛ yɛmɛboa no NATO ɛna ɔmo alifo no ɔmaka no ne nanfofo no ɛmɛ support no na ɔmo ntumi mbie ensuo Strait of Hormuz no yɛmbie mu no obi ama amɛ support no enti ɔno so ɔbɛma wiasefo ho akyere no ɛne nti na mo hu line na ɔmo sɛ ɔyɛ international gangster ɔbɛ sɛ ɔsɛ wiase nti UK fo sɛ ɔmo ntena se ɛnhwɛ ɛma Donald Trump ɛnkyekiri wiase mfa mbɔ ne bo sɛ ɔno ne ka ɛyɛ final never enti ɔmo ne ɔmo prime minister King Starmer no ɔmo ba bɛsoma no na ɔne ɔhene no the chief anase King Charles ɔmo atimi atu ho anamo immediately ntisa adwin bɔne ɛwɔ Donald Trump tiri mu no ɔba bɛsɛ wiase.
A whole civilization will die tonight. Words I never thought I would hear from an American president. And though Donald Trump thankfully didn't follow through this time, these words are a stark reminder of how reckless, immoral, and completely outside the bounds of international law this president is. Regrettably, he is no friend of the United Kingdom. He's no leader of the free world. He is a dangerous and corrupt gangster.
International
That is
gangster.
how we must treat him.
Wow.
So will the Prime Minister advise the King to call off his state visits to Washington before it's too late? Because I really fear for what Trump might say or do while our King is forced to stand by his side. We cannot put His Majesty in that position. And when it comes to Trump's latest cunning plan to blockade the Strait of Hormuz, that will only escalate this crisis and jeopardise the precarious ceasefire. So it's right that the UK is not joining Trump. And I welcome the Prime Minister convening a summit to offer an alternative to Trump. We must work with our reliable allies in Europe, and the Commonwealth, and our partners in the Gulf to bring this conflict to an end and keep open the Strait of Hormuz. That is critical for tackling the cost of living crisis that is getting worse and worse for people in the UK. With petrol prices now up by more than 25p a litre and diesel up 49p since Trump started this war, cheered on, let's not forget, by the leader of the Conservative Party and Reform, does the Prime Minister recognise that families and businesses can't wait months for the government to step in and help? So will he use the windfalls the Treasury is getting from higher fuel prices to cut the cost of living and keep the economy moving, with action to slash bus fares and rail fares and cutting fuel duty by 10p today, bringing down the price at the pumps by 12p a litre?
Can I thank him for his question? And in relation to the language about destroying a civilization, could I really be clear with this House? That was wrong. A threat to Iranian civilians in that way is wrong. These are civilians, let's remember, who've suffered immeasurable harm by the regime in Iran for many, many long years. And that's why they're words and phrases that I would never use on behalf of this government, which is guided by our principles and our values throughout all of this. Mr. Speaker, in relation to the King's visit, the relationship between our two countries is very important on a number of levels, and often what the monarchy is able to do through the bonds that they build is reach through the decades in a situation like this. And the purpose of the visit is to mark the 250th anniversary of the relationship between our country and the United States, and that's why the visit is going ahead. In relation to the blockade, let me be clear, as I've been already in the last day or so, that we are focusing our efforts on opening in full the Strait of Hormuz because of the damage it's doing to economies around the world, including our own economy. That is why we've been working with other countries at various levels, and we'll bring them together in a summit later this week. And we, the UK, will not be joining the blockade that the President announced. In relation to the help that is needed to families and households, obviously we've put in place help for energy bills already and oil heating that is in place. But, Mr. Speaker, we're keeping this under constant review as the situation evolves. The single most important and effective thing we can do is to de-escalate the situation and work with others to get the Strait of Hormuz open. And that is why we're focusing so much of our efforts in that regard.
Sir, and can I echo the comments about the President's statement on Easter Sunday, that in an evening he could destroy a 2,500-year-old civilization. But on the question of the Straits of Hormuz, isn't it clear that the Straits were open before the President foolishly launches a legal war? And can I ask the Prime Minister to say quite clearly that no British military assets or brave personnel would be put at risk in a foolish idea to blockade the Straits even further, which came from the President yesterday?
Thank you for that. It is, of course, Iran that's putting in the chokehold on the Strait. That is wrong, and the strength of feeling across the Gulf last week was very, very clear to me. I can assure him that we are not getting involved in the proposal to blockade the Strait. On the contrary, we're working with other countries to try and get the Strait open and fully open for free navigation, something this country has championed for years and years and years.
Trump's illegal war on Iran and his genocidal threat to kill a whole civilization are part and parcel of the dangerous new US security plan. The Trump doctrine is based upon yet more war and tearing up international law, making the whole world less safe. Prime Minister, given that, isn't it time for Britain to stop being a junior partner to the US and pursue a truly independent foreign policy? And shouldn't the very first step be to end all US access to British military bases for Trump's war on Iran?
Abusia, when in some UK lawmakers, UK man, Parliament, if you whoever, how the truth is.
It's my duty to ensure that we protect them. That is why we've taken